Great. Okay, guys, right on time. So let me share my screen first. So is the screen visible? Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So good morning, friends, to today's session. This week's session basically is a step ahead from feedback. As I always say, mine is always a story in continuation. And once you come to the end of the presentation today and the part two, this is the part two of value creation. So as you come to the end of part two, you'll get to know that it was all in the chain of patient conversion, negotiation, management of the patient in this regard, and along with, of course, the feedback scenario. The value creation is another step in that direction only. So today's presentation is at 7 a.m. So as usual, all my presentations always begin with thanking the Lord Almighty, who's given me much more than what I deserve. So this is my brief biodata. You all are aware of it. So today's webinar is webinar number 10 for the MPG, the value creation in dentistry part 1. I took a session on this in the free group. You'll find a few points of the same here as well. But what you must have read in there in the WhatsApp group, maybe a couple of you interpreted a different meaning, as I could gauge from a few of the questions that were raised to me in personal. So I will try to address that simultaneously along with the newer text, presuming that I am able to put it across very clearly what I exactly meant. So, so today is the auspicious occasion of Baisakhi, Gudi Padwa in Maharashtra, Chaitra Navratri all over India, and Cheti Chand as well. So this was one occasion when I actually started delivering online. I've never had a webinar or a say presentation before that. Of course, that was on 25th of March last year. Except Baisakhi, all these three were on the same day. It's been almost 385 days, but yes, it marks marks the occasion when I started delivering online in the form of webinars. I have been a very camera shy person, but then 1 year has actually made me deliver more than 110 presentations all over. So I feel I've come over that fear of facing the camera. Yes, I have been taking lectures all over, but physical lecture and an online lecture are a different thing altogether. So let's start the topic. So what exactly are we aiming at? We all aim at the wow customer service, which leads to more of money or the income part. So basic aim is to please our patients and lead to more revenue, more patients, more work, more reputation, more say being famous in the town. So all these things are actually interrelated. But again, as I asked in the WhatsApp group as well, how do you take the practice to the next level? A few questions to begin with. How do you? What is the modus operandi? And if we keep doing on same things, do you expect different results? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Or maybe can you enhance in the same service that you provide, the experience can be enhanced in a way or not? So we need to understand the basics first. The basic management principles will still remain the common, come what may. So value creation can be in any step, right from the patient takes an appointment on the phone, patient walks in into the clinic, the way he's greeted, the way he's attended, the way he's acknowledged his attendance, even if you're busy or even if he's sitting in the waiting area, the additional things which can maybe offering a tea or a coffee, maybe offering reading material, maybe offering uh, literature, otherwise maybe demo videos, whatever. There can be a multiple list of factors, and then Apart from that, your history taking, your documentation, your team training, expanded service mix, which we call as. Basically, these form all kinds of differentiators. Yes, we need to remember that these factors may be very good, but some of them work in unison. For example, I was lecturing in Bhopal about 6, 7 years back. I gave a list of differentiators. I have a list of differentiators, a separate presentation on differentiators. So, in that, one of the say facilities was offering free Wi-Fi to the patient, along with a list of other factors, along with the other internal management factors as well. So one participant got up and asked, "Sir, I am offering free Wi-Fi, but I don't get more patients because of that. So I just need you to understand that one of these factors will not work. They will all work in unison. And of course, it has to be topped up by what you actually offer in your treatment wise to the patient. If you are not offering great treatment, all these factors will slowly come to a knot, because when the patients realize that the work done has not been up to the par, then all these factors will go for a toss. So remember, these also work in unison along with your treatment plan. So then how do you make that jump to get to the next level? Which services do you enhance? How do you provide the value to your patients? Let me give you a few basics in this part one, along with the two examples and four tools. And then we'll take up more of those in the part two, maybe next week. So for any clinic, for any practice, for any hospital-based clinic, whatever the say place is or mode is, the final aim should be, the topmost priority should be, say, ultimate patient care. This has to be the top priority, irrespective of anything that is being done. So for that, again, as I said, you need to have a proper set of instructions, proper set of SOPs for everything: scheduling, consultation, case presentation, maintenance, payment system, and all those things that I've mentioned before as well in the previous slide. So then how do you actually add value to that without disrupting the treatment chain, without disrupting the patient flow, without disrupting the digital workflow? So all these things have to be minutely observed. Each step has to be broken down into a series of smaller activities where you can actually add those things. I'll come to those details individually as well, don't worry. So each activity will have a goal, but again, the final goal would be excellent patient care, or the ultimate patient care should be the goal. So you need to understand that, for example, if it is a patient phone call only, pleasantly answer, greeting the patient, and then gathering the information about the appointment and then ending the call. Depending upon how you talk, how much time you devote, you are in a hurry, you are in a mood to listen, you are in a mode to listen, both the ways. So we have to actually carry out the function and then move on to the next step. It should not be that you keep on sticking to one step and then expect a feedback on that step, and then you ask that yes, whatever maybe the results, ये step पे हमने ये किया था, patient से कोई response तो मिला नहीं. Again, remember that all these things will work in unison, at least a combination of these things. But then it should aim at office efficiency or clinic efficiency or work output, because it should not be disrupting your chain, that you are actually greeting the patient all day but ending up doing nothing work. You are doing all the paperwork perfectly but ending up treating only 3 or 4 patients in the day. That should not be the aim. Ultimate bottom line is that the treatment should be done and should be done efficaciously, of course, with the 3 E's that I always say: efficaciously, efficiently, and effectively. So then once you do on to the task, do it well and move on to the next task. What I actually want you to take home from this slide is that the value should be added to the whole experience. and it should be like a rehearsed effort, and it should not be like a, say, one off procedure done once or twice, and then इस बार पेशेंट को अच्छे से किया था हमने, कुछ रिस्पांस तो मिला नहीं, पेशेंट को चाय कॉफी भी ऑफर करी थी, पेशेंट को ग्रीट भी किया था, पेशेंट ने अपॉइंटमेंट तो लिया नहीं. We need to understand all these factors, and then it needs to be rehearsed, repeated, and then moving on without looking too much into the individual additional added factor that you have done to the treatment mix. It is called as a treatment mix. As in marketing we call as the product mix, or the marketing mix. I call this in the dental scenario, a terminology by me only, the treatment mix. The whole, say, procedures or the additional tools or the additional facilities or the top up facilities added to the overall treatment, making it a good treatment mix. So what exactly is the core of value creation? It should be beneficial and win-win strategy for all, to the owners, to the employees, means the staff, and to the customers, to the patients. So if these three things overlap, then surely, if every one of you attached with the profession, with the business, with the dentistry, with the clinic, gets a benefit out of it, that means there will be a resultant triangle. The patients get good service, the employees will get additional benefits because of the services they are offering, and thus, yes, the owners, that is you, will be getting more revenue and more patients and more retention. So everyone is getting something out of it. It is a kind of a win-win strategy derived from the treatment mix. So when this is there, you will say you can achieve, or you can say yourself, yes, the value creation was achieved. Again, value creation is not a purposely driven thing. It has to be a part of the thing. As I said just now, so it is like a basic function and enhancing it. You have to do the same work, but yes, you sugarcoat it in a way that it appears soothing and pleasing to the patient, that yes, I am being offered something extra. So again, the problem is that slowly and steadily, even if we start, we slip back into the normal mode, and the natural tendency will काम निपटाओ, वैल्यू वैल्यू बाद में देखेंगे, जब कम पेशेंट होंगे उस दिन देखेंगे, आज रश बहुत है. That is why I said before also, it should not be a special effort which should be done separately to get a feedback. It should be a part of the procedure, part of your system, part of your life, part of your clinical life, part of your treatment protocols, part of your SOPs, which has to be done every time. Patient आएगा तो उसने ये करना है. This is to be done daily. So that is a part of, for you it becomes a routine procedure. For the patient who is receiving it, it will become a value creation. You should not treat it like कि हमने patient पे एहसान किया, value create की. No, you should be like it is a normal procedure for us in a enhanced manner. Obviously, the patient can be just patient आए बैठे, उनको बिठाओ waiting में, अंदर लाओ, treatment करें, and the patient goes away. This can be the normal procedure as well. But if you add all those services, the patient will appreciate that. Yes, I was taken care of. वैसे भी ऐसे भी तो आपने करना ही है because of treatment. So one ऐसे भी and वैसे भी combined, the value creation is created in the mind of the patient, not for you. For you, it should be a repetitive routine process becoming a part of your life cycle. And we believe that staff is getting paid to get a job done. If you are giving something extra to the staff, they will automatically value the same. We always believe that staff are being paid, they should schedule the patients, maybe sterilize the instrument, clean the room, patients ko leke aaye idhar, all those things. And then they should assist us as well, chair side. And then again वही दिमाग में आ जाता ना, इतना सारा काम स्टाफ कर रहा है तो वैल्यू क्रिएट कहाँ से करेगा? It starts from the basics. You incorporate those things when you assign the duties. Let's presume you're already working for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever, and you're not following certain things of value creation. Now you add it, rehearse it, repetitively do it. You have to, of course, you have to do an OJT, on job training. You add those factors in that on job training, sometimes offline sessions as well, to make the staff realize that yes, this is going to give more money to the clinic, and this is going to give more money to you as well, because we all are partners in crime. We all share profits and losses together. That is the thing we need to understand. So that is why I said it has to be incorporated in every customer service system or every patient service system. For you, a routine thing. Because wow achieve करना है तो आपने wow नहीं करना है. Your service would make the patient say shriek out oh wow. So enhance the basic functions, you create additional value. Obviously, again, the aim should be to under promise and over deliver. Sometimes you don't promise something. Certain things are taken for granted. For example, the patient has chosen you maybe on a reference. So one part, he's assured कि ये डॉक्टर अच्छा है और a dentist is good. So मतलब इसका काम अच्छा है. So that thing is taken aside by the patient because he's come to you only keeping that thing in mind most of the times. Yes, there may be additional factors as well, but then what you give other than treatment, काम बढ़िया करते हैं, ख्याल भी बढ़िया रखते हैं, स्टाफ बड़ा वेल मैनेज्ड है, स्टाफ बड़ा वेल बिहेव्ड है, क्लिनिक साफ सुथरा है, then is in all these things payment will never come into the criteria. The referral made it sure that the treatment is top notch. Your value creation made sure you're above average or above basic services, added that yes, the service is there. So technically you won't believe, for majority of the cases, in when these two things are taken care of, payment literally goes out of the window. Yes, a few cases will be there, but then when I actually fail to understand is that why are dentists not interested in knowing the patient source of referral? It will throw open so many avenues for you. So the question still remains how to achieve that wow. So I believe that it is much more than just being very courteous to your patients. As I said, each procedure, each step, patient coming inside, patient waiting in the area, all those things broken up into smaller steps where you can add certain things without hurting your pocket much. Yes, for certain things you will have to invest a bit, but it should not be out of the world, where you don't hurt your pocket much, but you get a good service. And that becomes a part of your attention. How many times we have visited a customer service center or any such place? Yes, service अच्छी थी वहाँ की. We never bother. हमें किसी ने बोला वहाँ का खाना अच्छा है. We rarely ask rate कितना है. Sometimes we feel foolish that if we'll ask this question कि कितना है, उसमें पनीर कितने का है, चिकन कितने का है, we never ask it. खाना अच्छा है. You go there, you order according to your pocket. नहीं यार, थोड़ा सा रेट ज्यादा है, whatever. Maybe some of you might, but majority won't. Then you order it. The service standard is good. The taste, the preparation, the time, all those things are taken care of. And you said, हाँ यार, you go back and tell your friend or tell your referral, हाँ यार खाना अच्छा था, सर्विस तो बहुत ही अच्छी थी. You also skipped out that part, हाँ थोड़ा सा महंगा था. Because if you say that thing, the other friend will blurt out, यार सर्विस अच्छी है, खाना अच्छा, सब कुछ अच्छा, अब थोड़ा बहुत तो फिर इतना स्टैंडर्ड मेंटेन करना है तो थोड़ा बहुत तो कॉस्ट लगती है ना. This aspect of costing is presumed by people who value service. Again, majority of them. So if that thing happens for other affairs, why not this thing will be presumed by your patient? We presume that the patient will not pay us the charges. We never presume that we are offering good service. Why will not the patient presume the same? Again, odd people out. There might be certain exceptions, but in majority cases, this is going to be the truth, whether you believe it or not. And I'm saying it from 21 plus years of experience. I've seen it. And trust me, all these things are actually, इसके लिए separate classes नहीं लेनी पड़ती हैं staff की. You can actually incorporate a few offline class, but majority of that can be done with OJT, on job training. I do that most of the times. Certain things certain systems you want to add to your practice, you're good enough to, or say free enough to do that. So analyze that from the patient point of view. What benefits patient can derive from each service so that he or she can achieve a wow experience. But then all those things, a homework is a must. 4 factors. What is the status of your reputation? Difficult question, sometimes say difficult to digest as well. Google your business, see where you stand. What is your ranking? Do you have an online presence? What are the testimonials or the reviews the patient have given you? Yes, tier 3, tier 4 might believe, cities people might, dentists might believe that probably this is not their cup of tea, but for them an offline reputation can survey can help. Get a grapevine from the local shopkeepers. Send anyone, not your staff, maybe a known acquaintance, asking for a referral कि उस dentist के पास जाएं कि ना जाएं, just to have a feedback of the offline survey. People do it. People ask them. People ask about the negative reviews offline as well. So it is not only about online. So don't fear if you are in tier 3 or a tier 4 city, and even part of tier 2 cities as well. Then the biggest question is, do you even have an online presence, irrespective of which tier city you are? You need to understand that website is a must. And yes, thereby you can manage your online reviews as well, because people will always flock to the internet to give you an honest perspective. So these reviews can be actually the little difference between trickling of the new patients or a huge rush of new patients, deluge of the same. Then what is the state of your referrals? That is why I said dentists don't really bother about the PSOR, patient source of referral. I really don't understand why, because that is one pertinent point that actually helps you to sell a higher price service, a execute service or a premium service directly to a new patient whom you don't even know. If you know about the source of referral, if somebody who's got a zirconia bridge done from you has sent you a patient, automatically the patient is mentally prepared to pay you higher, or maybe opt for a similar higher premium treatment. You need to understand that what avenues this can open to you. Then why people will refer to you? What are your X factors or distinguishing factors or differentiators? And do that very honestly. Then there are a few things in this regard for referrals to keep in mind. Don't have a set it and forget it approach. Review always on, say, periodic basis. Then don't forget to track your referral partners if you have any. If you have a tie-up with a restaurant, you have a tie-up with a, say, bookstore, you have tie-up with someone offline or online. Have a method of tracking in place. Yes, electronic records or your digital records will help you in those regards, if not fully, because offline is seen as passe, is the thing of the past. You need to understand those things. Then the third important aspect is your clinic well managed, running efficiently. Are you giving a good amount of productivity? Patient तो बहुत करते हैं, लेकिन end of the day we don't have much money. Then do you feel your team is talking out to the patients well? If the answer is yes, good. But not, then you need to improve your situation first before you go on to offer other services. If the efficiency in service is not there, if the productivity is not there, if the communication part is not there, you need to set the ball rolling in your own place first before you roll it out to the others. Because you need to fix your issues or iron out your issues before you add. Actually, whenever you try to go for value creation, you will be sometimes expanding your business or adding up your, say, maybe adding a chair as well to your practice. Just an example. So you need to relieve yourself of that stress, because if your basics are not managed well, if your basic management systems are not in place, you actually will not be able to deliver what you actually set out to do. Trust me, we might be doctors, we might be having say different approach towards management, but you cannot actually run from management, you cannot actually run from figures and numbers, the two things which you actually never explored in your plus one medical, or maybe after that when you took up the medical or the dental stream. Of course, all of us are dentists, so dentist stream, dental streams, we actually did not even think of this, but these two things are inseparable in your profession. Then are our facilities up to date? The only thing is that given a market scenario, we need to realize that सबके charges almost same होते हैं in an area, unless someone is well off and charges pretty high, and unless someone is well off and charges pretty low. There can be two exceptions. The other ones are almost give or take. कोई एक चीज में कम लेता है तो कोई दूसरी में करके compensate कर देता है. Then you need to understand that if you are offering the same facilities, if you are offering the same charges, why will the patient choose you? Again, the differentiation factor. Why will the patient choose you from 10 other in your area? What is your X factor? Your X factor is your differentiator, and that becomes your value creation pattern. Again, think of from the patient perspective कि पैसे उतने ही देने हैं तो साफ सुथरी जगह पे दें, पैसे उतने ही देने हैं तो वहां पे दें जहां पे सर्विस अच्छी है, पैसे उतने ही देने हैं जहां पे स्टाफ अच्छा है, पैसे उतने ही देने हैं तो वहां दें जहां डॉक्टर कम से कम बात तो सुनता है. Little small things, when they add up, they actually become quite big, and we need to take care of each small little thing in your practice. Why I don't feel odd sometimes? Because most of the things are part of my system. I don't need to do some things separately in a different mode. Yes, I agree, most of you must be doing many things, but what I mean to say is that we have to make these things a pertinent part of our system. So if you can think like a patient, think if you're a new patient, have no experience with the dentist, what would you prefer? A place where the COVID-19 protocols are in place, where actually say I feel that my health is safe, where I feel that I will not catch a disease. For example, I'm giving those things. So then if you want to consider your clinic makeover, how will you go about it? Again, your local population, your tier size of the city, your target population group, all these will decide certain factors. Can be contemporary design, stylish decor, quality furnishings, or which features to stand out separately. Maybe children's play area, television, Wi-Fi, considering you have space and money to invest. So different differentiators, I'll discuss all these in part two next week. But different differentiators can actually make you decide. And once these things are in place, they need to be maintained as well. If they're not maintained, there is no use in actually say keeping those facilities. Then have you got the latest equipment? New equipment usually stands out, and we always want uh, it to be flaunted out to our patients. But then you need to understand that these can be your differentiating factors only if the patient values your treatment or values your clinic. It is like an investment in your practice. But I recently had a query from a person, from a dentist, of course, on FB Messenger just 2 days back. He said, I want to expand my clinic with latest gadgets, not space wise, but expand in terms of armament area. And sir, most of the things I don't need. It is just for flaunting to the patients that I am not behind the race. But for them, I have to take a loan. I'm not yet financially secure. I have been attending your lectures. I'm not yet financially secure. So, what should I choose between the want based gadgets and need based financial security? So, my answer was very simple. Life is all about the balance. The balance you can maintain perfectly, go for it. The first thing is always financial security. The second thing is your need. If all those things what you want in your clinic are want based, then better be financially secure before you venture out into that. Because you will always, the last line, the ROI, the return over investment will be the most important criteria. So let's leave this query and come back to our original presentation. So if you are investing in a material, you need to understand what is your target population group. Do they really need this gadget, or will you be, in another form, if I ask, will you be using this gadget in majority of your patients? Majority means I always say 50 to 60% minimum. If you are not using in more in about 50 to 60, think again. Then you are not going to handle it alone. Your staff is going to handle it as well. Certain things are very, say, very technique sensitive as well, and also they'll be very fragile. So does your staff need to be specially trained for it? And the last important thing, what is the estimated return over investment? Will you be recovering the cost, or whether the gadget will actually zoom your practice to next level, as say promoted by various dealers? Will you be able to do that? If you can answer these questions, surely, then is your management system up to date? Trust me, management will never leave you. If you are not paperless already, still maintaining paper records, register records, trust me, you are actually lagging behind your contemporaries. You get rid of so much of paperwork, you get rid of so much of hard copies if you actually start maintaining a paperless practice, or a software based practice, or a digital practice. Whichever way you want, digital way would always be best, because the bottom line will always be improving the patient experience. Because once the patient experience is improved, we need to understand that the value will be automatically created. So the thing is that if you're going to add value to your practice, you have to change certain existing operations as well. Certain things which you have been doing, you have to start doing them differently. Change is inevitable, and you have to accept that. Change can come in many forms. Changing readiness, changing the business culture or the work culture, or every kind of change, changing the way you work, changing the way you talk, changing the way you dress, changing the way you greet, changing the way you, say, manage your clinic. So change is inevitable. It is an inevitable word in every sphere of life. So if we believe that it is easier said than done, yes, it is. Because even if you might decide to change, the staff might not. They will actually say, नहीं सर पहले अच्छा था, क्या आपने नए लोचे में डाल दिया, कहाँ से करना पड़ेगा? They will not accept it as readily as you will, because you realize that yes, this is going to bear fruits for me. The staff has to be, say, trained for that. Again, for any change, again there are 4 steps. The first thing is vision. Benefit to the patients, benefit to the practice. Practice includes staff as well. And finally, your benefits. Those are the personal tangible benefits. This vision has to be there with everyone. And some of us do have very loyal and wonderful employees. And when they are made to understand this part, they will actually, as they say, move heaven and earth. Zameen asmaan ek kar denge to make those changes happen in your practice. Then tools. What tools do you need? What are the gadgets you have to invest in? Maybe new equipment, maybe new furniture, maybe new decor. Again, do you need more training for that? for you, for your staff? Maybe do you need to schedule differently? What verbal skills will you need to communicate to tell the patient about the benefits, about the changes you have made? So you can identify those specific benefits out of that. So once you train your staff to communicate these benefits, your job will be half done. And once you identify those tools, you can make changes, and those factors can be made a reality. And value creation will start from a change only. Because as I said, you need to do certain things which you are doing already or which you will be doing in a similar manner and still expect results. If not, if your efforts are not bearing results, you need to really change those things. Then mechanics, how will you gain those tools if they involve the investment part? How will you buy and how will you pay for it? Then your training, then the staff training, then the verbal communication skills to be conveyed to the patient. So need is to actually detail everything to your staff, make staff your partner in crime in a lighter tone, so that you can hit a sixer on the first ball. Then final thing always is in management is accountability. Who will do what by when? You have to inspect, you have to introspect, you have to, what are your expectations from your staff? Because if you are not maintaining those accountabilities, you will not be able to measure the change. And again, the rough calculation has to be made. What are the profit expectations and how you're going to measure this? मैंने बोला था आपको दो चीजें, management and numbers, they will never leave you. The greatest truth of management is that if you can't measure something, you cannot manage it. At the end of the year, at the end of the exercise, at the end of a say schedule, if you don't have a tangible output which you cannot measure, that means you are not growing. So you need to measure the impact of change. We can always say staff meeting, verbal skills, these mechanics, these rehearsal exercises, they can be very boring, but these are the fundamentals of management. And once done repeatedly again and again and again, they will bring a change to your practice. So I gave the example of patient scheduling in the WhatsApp group. As I said, it is a technical activity. The main thing is that you have to schedule the patient with the appropriate amount of time. For that, you need to know how much task you are going to accomplish in how much amount of time. Number one. Number two, you have to schedule according to the Pareto principle. That is a given thing for me. You have to schedule the peak patients in the peakest of the time. You have to measure that when the patient, if it might be a extraction, if it might be a surgical extraction, you don't schedule it in the middle. Make any reason, make any valid reason to convey to the patient. You don't do it in the middle of the say morning or the evening schedule. Sometimes people believe जाओ आप बाहर जाके staff से time ले लो. People will send off without even bothering that what receptionist or receptionist is giving the time to the patient. You need to really have a active eye into it, because ultimate aim is patient satisfaction. It does start from patient scheduling, but it does not mean that you schedule the patient for 1 hour and the job is for 15 minutes. Again, the patient wants a treatment to be done immediately. The patient is in distress, that is why. Or maybe the patient is in an emergency, he has a function 2 days later, maybe a flight 2 days later. So if you ask the receptionist to schedule that, he or she will not understand the logistics of the urgency. Sometimes you need to intervene in there. And again, intervening specifically when the patient knows that the appointment is given by the receptionist, but the dentist has actually intervened and taken care of my urgency or distress, that is also a value addition or a value creation for the patient. For us, it is just convenience कि नहीं patient है, इसको तकलीफ है, पहले attend कर लो. We don't think it like it as a value creation, but the patient will perceive it as the similar way. So you need to understand that. So sometimes patient will cancel the appointment. Maybe they do not value sometimes those things. But then always schedule the patient with the right amount of time. Do not make a schedule that you allot a patient 30 minutes for a 1 hour procedure. You'll end up disrupting the next patient's schedule. So you need to be sure of yourself that how much task you are going to accomplish in how much time. So how can you make this experience positive? I gave these options in the WhatsApp group as well. So if the proposed appointment is a convenient time, ask that, confirm that. Always take the patient's name, Mr., Mrs., whatever, at least 3 times during the conversation, which gives the patient a feeling of a personal touch. And you can give patients minimum of 2 choices for appointments. And those 2 choices can be your choices as well. Your preferred time out of your 80-20 schedule as well. आप ये ले लीजिए या ये ले लीजिए. Sometimes दोनों टाइम पेशेंट को सूट नहीं करते होते हैं, but she or he will still pick up the ones which actually are still little bit favorable to them, and they will adjust their schedule according to that. What you have done smartly is you have given 2 choices. If you give one choice, the patient will say इस टाइम पे तो मैं आ ही नहीं सकता, इस टाइम पे मेरा ये है. If you give 2 choice, as they say, options spoil. I don't believe that, but options don't always spoil. I always say that. So patient will always make a choice about the options available, because if it is the urgency on the part of the patient, he might pick up the less preferred time, not totally suitable, but less suitable time, which you have to understand both of them are suitable to you first. Yes, it can be ideal choice sometimes as well. Then if somebody wants to clarify a few doubts, you can ask beforehand on the call when you are about to confirm the appointment, if you're going to do that. So always tell the patient that you look forward to your next visit, as the example given by Dr. Madhavi yesterday in the group. So the value creation can even say turn a regular procedure like a patient scheduling into a positive experience while maintaining control of the schedule. I got this query, सर पेशेंट एक्सट्रैक्शन वाला है तो वो बीच में टाइम मांगता है, तो हम उसको कैसे एडजस्ट करें? आप उसको बोलो आप 12 बजे आ जाओ या 4 बजे आ जाओ. Let's supposing your 12 o'clock is the last schedule of the morning for people like me who start early. Maybe 4 o'clock is the first time we start in the evening. So the patient might pick either of the two. He or she was willing to come at 10:30 or 11, which you are not willing to do because you don't want to schedule an extraction or a surgical extraction in the middle of your schedule, fearing that it might consume a little bit of more time. So you gave the time, the patient might choose that. So you should control the schedule, and still the patient got one of the 2 options by just showing a little bit of flexibility. So again, those things, this can be created step by step in your practice. So I gave one example of scheduling. Now I'm going to give another example of staff training now here as well. So once, as they say, एक बारी कर लिया, प्रैक्टिस कर ली, रिहर्सल कर ली, अभी सिस्टम का पार्ट नहीं बना है. क्लिनिक में रश हुआ तो हमेशा वो फिर वापस बैक टू फंक्शनल मोड. सिर्फ यही होता है कि जितने दिन में पेशेंट्स हैं पहले वो निपटाओ. Take the example of COVID-19 protocols. Till 2 weeks back, when the cases were not much, when the lockdown murmurs had not started 2 to 3 weeks back, majority of us had brought our guard down. We are not maintaining the same protocols that we were maintaining from July to December. We were turning a bit of lax. A certain amount of, say, convenience has crept in. नहीं चलो कोई बात नहीं, देखा जाएगा, होकर जाएगा, अपने को तो 2 वैक्सीन लग गए. So this kind of convenience, I'm not saying that everyone of us is doing, but yes, a little bit of laxity started creeping in. So again, the way to do this or way to overcome this is to make those things a part of your SOP, part of your schedule. I don't specifically get up early in the morning. This is part of my system. Even on a Sunday morning, I try that I sleep extra. I switch off my alarms, but still I am up by 4:30, maximum 5 o'clock. However hard I may try to sleep, because my body, this is part of my body clock. Similarly, certain things in your practice have to be a part of your system. And excellent customer service, excellent patient service has to be a part of your and staff system. It might mean doing those boring meetings, doing those boring management sessions with the staff again and again. I give example of Virat Kohli, Indian captain, cricket team captain. He actually he hit 5 centuries in IPL in 2016 season, 5 years back. He opened in that IPL 9 it was, and he still doesn't have a century while batting for India in a T20. He bats at one down. And somebody asked me, how do you keep on doing same things? He said, I follow this schedule: eat, sleep, exercise, repeat. Eat, sleep, exercise, repeat. Of course, exercise means training here for him. So once you do a certain thing repeatedly over and over again, examples can be innumerable about you. If you go out looking for an example from a dentist, you might find lesser ones. I gave an example from a Indian team cricket captain. He was not even a captain at that time. At the end of 2016 or 17 in Australia series, he became the test team captain when Dhoni left midway. He was still not the white ball captain. So if he can do certain things repeatedly, why can't we? For training, the best way is a script. पिक्चर बनती तो बोलते ना स्क्रिप्ट कहाँ है, कहते स्क्रिप्ट यहाँ पे है दिमाग में, कहते नहीं मुझे बाउंड स्क्रिप्ट चाहिए, आई नीड टू रीड फर्स्ट, आई नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द करेक्टर फर्स्ट. पीपल लाइक आमिर खान गो इवन ऑफ नॉच फर्दर, वो ट्रेनिंग सेशन करते हैं, उसके डेमो सेशंस करते हैं, फिर जाके वो शूट पे करते हैं, रिहर्सल्स, अदर थिंग्स. Then again, those things have to be, to get into the, they need to understand, they are also professional, but still they need to understand they are playing one character in one, another in another. But we need to play the same character every time. We need to offer the same service. So we hardly need to change the script as well. So our script can be constant also. So the team members will get accurate information how to achieve that wow. वो wow आपके माइंड में है, वो पेशेंट ने करना है wow. स्टाफ इज द कॉमन लिंक बिटवीन द टू. स्टाफ को वाव से कोई मतलब नहीं है. स्टाफ को वाव हुआ तो पैसे आएंगे, उससे मतलब है. We need to understand that. So every aspect of such a patient experience can be documented and scripted, can be enacted, can be, if the patient asks for this thing, what can be our answer? If the patient asks for another thing, what can be our answer? So it might seem difficult and time consuming to those who are not doing it, but then it means actually to bisect and dissect each step, analyze each step to create additional value. जितना आप अपनी टीम को इंफॉर्मेशन देंगे, the more empowered they will feel to provide high quality service. सर पेशेंट वेटिंग में आके बैठ गया, उसको हमने आते ही बताना क्यों है कि इतना टाइम लगेगा? वो बैठा वेट कर रहा है ना, हमने कौन सा उसको धूप में बिठाया? दिस वाज वन ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस माय स्टाफ रेज्ड टू मी इन 2010. हमने कौन सा उसको धूप में बिठाया है? And I was not actually taken aback. I was trying to read into my staff's mentality at that time. The patient is sitting in the cozy interiors of the clinic where the AC is on, he is comfortable. So why do we need to even ask him a tea or a coffee? इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So certain things would explain to them very, very clearly. And because once it is done, once they understand, as I said, they'll move heaven and earth. They'll do whatever they can to actually give you the results. You cannot achieve 100% results without that. You cannot do everything by yourself in your practice. Yes, for a short duration you can, but ultimately the staff holds the key to the long-term success of the clinic. And again, patient experience is all about patient satisfaction. Patient experience is all about patient retention and further conversion for treatment. You will find the threads joining now a bit. Maybe the wait was too long, the provider really listened, the exam room wasn't very clean. Just flip them. The patient was acknowledged. They normally don't take time for appointment, but yes, today it was an emergency, some other case gone wrong, so they were taking time. They made me sit, they made me understand the situation, they offered me tea and coffee, they put the nice music on, they had a lot of reading material, so I kept myself busy. But when my turn came, the dentist really listened to my problem. He was never in a rush because we were late. He did not rush through the appointment. He provided me due attention. And in spite of having so many patients, the maintenance was top notch. It was very clean. Imagine the reverse scenario. So, patient experiences what did or did not happen during that visit. You need to understand. If you have rehearsed certain things with your staff, you can go back to your meeting and understand, yes, this thing you missed today, this thing you did well today. Appreciate when done well. Do not always try to say jump onto the assistant when they don't do it. Make them understand once, twice, thrice. When even after 3 times they repeat the same, then take them into the closed chamber and give them a mouthful. Again, that has to be a polite tone, that has to be without any other staff, even without your spouse. But when you are trying to adopt new SOPs, give them at least 3 chances. Don't start reprimanding them in front of the patient. तेरे को समझाया नहीं था पेशेंट आएगा तो क्या करना है? Your tone actually sets the tone, sets the wrong tone for the patient experience. ये पेशेंट अपने स्टाफ से ऐसे बात करते हैं, मेरे से कैसे बात करेंगे? Certain patients are nervous previously. They will get more nervous. ये डॉक्टर का तो मूड ही ऐसा है, क्या करेंगे? So I hope I have not been preachy enough to give you a lot of lecture. So why you should measure patient satisfaction? To provide excellent patient care, to measure staff performance, to know angry and miffed patients, why they got angry, what was the service deficiency at their end, and to improve the patient care experience, and finally, to improve the patient retention rate and further treatment conversion rate. So I hope you didn't fall sleepy. I called you up 5 minutes early today. So good to see at least 15 of you today. So the carry home gyan for today, for the part 1. So the concept of value creation means actually to enhance our core functions. Core function means to provide good treatment to the patient. But how to sugarcoat it and enhance it, not sugarcoat it only verbally, but present it in a way that it appears lucrative to the patient. So value creation is the basis of the wow. And without a strong commitment, you will not reach your full potential. And people actually, whatever you may say, patients will judge you by the overall experience, aise bhi or waise bhi, as I say. Not only the quality of care. Sometimes that thing is taken care of. कि आप डॉक्टर हो, आपको ट्रीटमेंट करना तो आता ही है. Even if the patient is not a referral and a walk-in, the patient does not doubt your abilities unless you commit a blooper, unless you commit a big mistake. He will not doubt your ability. डॉक्टर है तो मतलब ट्रीटमेंट करना तो आता ही होगा, बाकी कुछ आता ना हो चाहे. That is the first thing in patient's mind. So the clinical care is taken care of already. We have to add other factors to actually woo the patient, to get the wow. Woo the patient to get the wow. So excellent clinical care with good patient service is the formula for long-term success. We'll see more of this in part 2 as well. So patients will forget how they were treated, but they will remember how they were treated otherwise. So go for creating a value enhanced practice. I hope you had an insight and you can set your thinking buzzer light. That is the reason I told you to read the Sunday session. I hope you did read that, and mm, certain things might be more clear to you when I have explained them rather than you just read it out in the Sunday session. So stay tuned for part 2 next week. There will be much more to deliver to you in this value creation part. So the moral of the story for today: what it does: improves business value, increases revenue, reduces cost, improves efficiency, improves workforce morale, skills management and creativity, improves your business model, increases customer satisfaction and coverage, and improves internal processes or SOPs. And if a patient is happy and satisfied, he is a great practice builder. So thank you so much for a patient hearing. So this is my address and website and email. You can get in touch. You already are. So YouTube channel, you can go to my channel. If you forget the name, you can search Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. You will get one video today in an hour from now. So a new addition to my social media presence is my page, which is by Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. The rest presence is by my name only, Dr. Bhavdeep. So do send me your feedback in the WhatsApp group. Whatever you feel, bookers and bookbats both welcome in equal measure. If you derive something out of the value creation session today. So thank you, and I stop my share for questions from all of you. I hope I stuck to my time. Yes, 55 minutes. I was. Yes. Any queries, I'll be happy to take up. You can unmute yourself and ask.
Good morning, sir. I have a query.
Yes, Ajay. Good morning.
Sir, patient take appointment around 10:15, and we came around 11:30 and says I have taken appointment. In such, so how
This
to
is this is
manage?
the this is the scenario you should actually take care of when you are giving appointment or when you're scheduling the appointment. You need to understand, you need to convey, your staff also needs to convey this thing to the patient, that we are giving you time, we work according to appointment time. If you are late, you might have to go back, or you might have to wait depending upon the future schedule. So for your convenience, if the time does not suit you, you can change it. But if you, this time you have taken, it is suiting you, kindly be on time. This you have to do prior to your appointment, and the message is sent well across. Once the message is sent, and also add that if you are not going to come on time, or if you are not able to keep up your appointment due to any emergency, kindly inform us, because that will help us to serve you better and allot you any further better time.
Okay.
Because unless you explain to the patient
Yes.
beforehand, when he comes and you're working in with another patient, it will become like a cover up operation for the patient कि अब मैं थोड़ा सा लेट क्या हो गया, ये मेरे को बातें सुनाने लग पड़े चार. The patient might feel that way. So conveying beforehand will give you an upper hand surely in the beginning only.
It's
Once you
better
do
way to
that,
do.
you'll be able to say come over it.
Okay. Most of time we will manage. We have two chairs set up, but rarely it happens
But
sometimes.
again, you can manage, but you shouldn't make this a habit with your patients. This should
Right.
be a system that should be followed again.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So,
So,
yes, Dr. Asudha.
now, just yesterday, I was adapting the rubber dam clamp to the tooth, and for some reason, I couldn't do that. Patient said, I'm not comfortable. So, two times I tried. Later on, I said, okay, if you're not, the patient was not at all comfortable. So, I said, okay, if you're not comfortable, we'll not do it. How do I now? He's a patient for a root canal treatment. Next time when he comes, I'll be obturating. So, how do I now I want to do it under rubber dam. So how do I try to convince him for that?
The thing is, first
Because
make
that is a
yourself
very
perfect.
pardon.
we have to make ourselves perfect first.
Yes.
We need to be very adept so that we don't make this mistake, because sometimes when we are doing this process, maybe in the beginning, maybe out of inexperience, we tend to sometimes hurt the patient,
Hmm.
and the patient inevitably might not say it, but it gets the message that maybe they were not using it before, now using it, so they are maybe not perfect in it. So make yourself perfect, remove the deficiencies at our end first. That should be the aim. So that we should not be taking more than 2.5 minutes to place a rubber dam.
Hmm.
And once you are comfortable, do practice on dummy models, do practice, do sometimes the punch is not correct, sometimes the clamp is not adjusted according to the correct size, sometimes the placement is not correct, sometimes the patient makes a certain movement while placement. So there might be multiple factors, but you need to iron out those deficiencies at your end first, and then explain to the patient in the previous setting that yes, we are going to do the root canal and we'll be doing in this. What are the benefits of the patient? Convey in the patient language to the patient uh, in the prior setting, so that the patient is mentally also secure about that. Especially if it is your old patient who has gotten the root canal done from you in the past without rubber dam. So he should be knowing it that next time I'll be getting this one done, and these are the benefits which my doctor has added into the armamentarium of the setup or the clinic. So this is for my benefit only.
But then what do we do now? Since the first time I tried to do it on him, he was not comfortable. Like I could sense from his body language. He did not tell me. I could sense from his body language. So I myself, from my end, I told him, I'm not doing it because you don't seem to be comfortable. He was okay with that. But for the next time, what do I tell him?
You should
Because
have
his
told this thing in the previous sitting only, that or maybe you can inform in the next sitting, even the next sitting you can do it, that these are the added benefits. You get proper isolation, you don't have to split again and again, all those things which are the added benefits of the rubber dam. And it actually, the bottom line should always be to again throw the ball in the patient's court. इसके कारण इन्फेक्शन दांत के अंदर नहीं जाएगा, दांत जल्दी ठीक होएगा. So convey it in a way that the patient understand that it is for my benefit and not for
Hmm.
your comfort. Sometimes the patient feel कि इनको खाली मैदान करना इसलिए कर रहे हैं ऐसे. Because many times patient say this to me, ये क्या आपने मतलब खाली मैदान करके यहाँ पे बॉलिंग करनी है कि बैटिंग करनी है, ऐसे बोलते पेशेंट कई बार. They do it sometimes. When I explain them in the patient language, yeah, what is exact the reason? We actually are say getting away from salivary fluids and infection. They understand those things better. But yes, I try to do those things prior, especially for my patients when in the previous experience I have not used a rubber dam sometimes out of any reason, out of rush, out of say patient gag, out of whatever reason I've not used. But if I'm going to use it the next time, I inform the patient prior. And sometimes if they want, I have a demo video with me. I give them the demo right away that we'll be going to punch it in this way. And most of the times they understand. Yes, some patients do take time, but eventually they will once they see that this is part of your practice.
So ideal would be just throwing the ball in his court and saying, "See, last time there was some problem, but this time, do you want me to do it? And if he's comfortable, only then do it. Otherwise, just leave it."
Throwing the ball in the court means that you have to convey that this will actually again the patient will have a reverse question for you. You will be ready for that also. इसके कारण आपके दांत में इन्फेक्शन नहीं जाएगा. Again, the unspoken question is कि मतलब पिछली बार इन्फेक्शन भेजा आपने. So you need to understand we need to grow and adapt or adopt the newer technologies as and when they are coming. You don't need to tell that the rubber dam is a 20-year-old thing. You need to know that yes, we have upgraded to rubber dam now that we are actually in the COVID-19 scenario. The cases are again rising up in Maharashtra. You are there. So the guidelines are there that we need to adopt to this technology. Put it on the government. They'll understand these things.
Okay.
Sometimes a bit of lie does not do any bad if it is for your and patient's benefit in the longer run,
Okay.
especially for the patients who don't understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Any more queries?
गुड मॉर्निंग सर, अजय हियर।
Yes, Ajay.
सर, मुझे ये जानना है कि अगर कोई प्रोसीजर एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं तो उसको कैसे अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन करें सो दैट वी कैन प्रोवाइड पेशेंट्स इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन द सेम वे, सेम टाइम। हाउ कैन वी डिफरेंशिएट आवरसेल्व्स फ्रॉम अदर क्लिनिक्स?
Like for example,
For example, for root canal treatment, if we are using protepergol and someone are reducing cost by using some files inferior than or in cost wise they are cheaper than that.
see, one thing I sometimes don't understand, not talking to you, but generally talking, when actually people talk about their neighborhood dentist, anyone, जैसे वो ये material use करता है. How many of us actually went into that clinic and opened up their drawers and saw their materials? 99.9%, no one of us. 99.9%, unless they are your friends, unless they are not your competitors actually. So
Yes.
the first thing is we don't have any right to comment upon what the other person is doing. We can actually grow without hurting somebody else as well. We need to make our points clear. See, here the point of patient source of referral becomes very important. From where has the patient come from? If the patient has been from your old referral patient who has got a root canal done from you, the rotary one, the new patient will understand those scenarios better, surely better. Then why you are following a system? Because you are comfortable with it and you have gotten success with it. That should be the highlight point rather
Okay.
than any inferior system used by any other dentist.
Okay.
If it comes to cost, you can explain in a very simple language. There are around 8 to 10 systems in the world, whatever number you know of, 8 to 10 systems, and they vary from this much amount to this much amount. Give a minimum and a maximum range.
Okay,
Let's
sir.
suppose you're charging 3,000 for a root canal. Say 8 systems are there. They are costing anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000. I'm using this system because I'm very comfortable and I'm getting success with the system. So there is no reason for me to shift from this system. But my system is giving me this much amount of cost. Eventually, if it comes to cost, if you have to go into those details, this should be the last ace up your sleeve. This should not be disclosed in the first place.
Okay, sir.
बाकी सारे factor disclose करो.
Yes.
But the cost discussion, when it eventually comes to नहीं है आपकी cost इतनी है उसकी इतनी है उसकी इतनी है, if the patient comes to that, even at that point you don't have to badmouth your colleague and explain the term mathematically.
Okay.
Similar to you can explain to the patient कि चाय 10 रुपए में भी मिलती है 100 रुपए में भी मिलती है.
Yes.
Depending upon the place, depending upon the maybe ingredients, depending upon the service, those things have to be explained to the patient verbally.
Okay.
Very, very clearly. But eventually the pricing should be the last ace, which should be utilized as an ace only. Any more queries?
Good morning, sir. Raghu, sir.
Yes, Raghu.
This timing, appointment scheduling for the time is always a big problem for me, sir. People, I had not been working with appointments earlier, and as I'm trying to put myself into this kind of appointment scheduling and doing, it is really not working out for me, sir. I have some problem in
When
really
did you
doing that.
start?
Sir,
When did you start adopting this system?
maybe for the past 1 month, I'm doing it, sir.
So you have 11 more months to go. Don't worry.
Yes, sir.
It'll take about approximately 1 year.
Yeah.
First thing, for you to mentally accept it, for your staff to mentally accept it, and for your patients to mentally and physically accept it. Because you are there sitting in the same place, the patient has to come. So he has to accept it mentally and physically. You both,
Yes.
you and staff, have to accept it mentally. It will take about 1 year, roughly 1 year. But then that does not mean keep your guard down, keep your say flag high, keep working towards it, and do not
I given appointment at 6 p.m. Explained the patient very clearly, but he came happily at 7 p.m. I had another patient waiting already, and it was like a mess, sir. I couldn't get this done. I was worried about the patient waiting outside, and it was
No
very
problem.
difficult.
Just explain them in the previous sitting. As I said, explain them in the previous sitting. Once a patient goes back, even there will be some times when you actually gave the time to the patient and you didn't get free from your previous patients. That will also happen. So
Yes, sir.
all those things will be happening. These are all teething troubles, and you will need some time, some adaptation to adjust to it. Don't worry. This is a work in progress, and you will actually get used to it pretty soon.
No,
Don't
I
worry.
feel
Keep
like
patient.
it works much better without appointments, sir. Because I don't know, because
It
I'm
only
not
works
really
without appointment unless until you have less amount of patients. Once you
okay.
have a huge OPD to manage, you'll find this system at least stress free.
Yes, sir.
Because I turned it into a way. I gave example many a times. I was having a reasonable OPD till March 2007. Uh, the birth of my daughter, elder daughter, actually shot up my OPD by 4 to 5 times. So for the next 1 month, I was struggling after her birth. A new kid in the house, plus say huge surge in OPD. The OPD actually at the peak time about 6 7 patients sitting, and non-peak times there was hardly 1 or 2 patients. So if I counted the number of the OPD from 5 to 7 in the day, it had jumped to around 20 21. But I was treating only 4 or 5 in the day because I could treat only maximum 2 in the peak time. So which actually led me to shift to this appointment system. Everyone laughed at me, and I'm talking of the year 2007. Everyone laughed at me, including my colleagues, including some of my patients. But then by the end of 2007, or maybe the start of 2008, 90+% of my patients had adjusted to this new scenario, and majority of them started appreciating this as well. And even till date, I get this compliment from my patients at least once or twice a week. So this is a system which you will actually relish if you adopt. Again, scheduling, I just gave an example. You joined in late. So it is like a this feature is like a SOP modified or remodified as a SOP for the similar reason. So
Yes.
unless you break down all those activities of your clinic which you are doing other than treatment, you will not actually gain more in value creation. वैल्यू यहीं से बनेगी. ट्रीटमेंट तो आपने करना ही करना. The treatment patient also presumes that you are doing it. Similar to Dr. Harshada's example right now, you can use a rubber dam as a value creation tool as well, explaining the patient about the side effects of not doing it via rubber dam. हिंदुस्तान में कई बार उल्टी बातें ज्यादा जल्दी समझ आती हैं, सीधी बात
Yes.
समझ नहीं आती है. एक्सप्लेन देम कि ये ना करने से ये होगा, करने से ये बेनिफिट होगा. समटाइम्स इट इज नॉट क्लियर टू मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल.
Yes, sir.
You need to explain it maybe in a different manner, so that can also help.
Maybe it will get set in few months.
The only thing is, if you lose patience after 1 month, how do you expect your patients to remember it after a year?
Yes, sir.
So you need to keep patience in that.
And earlier I'd been working even till midnight, even without a scheduling. And I'd been seeing patients as they come in. I used to do treatment whenever, whatever they want. Even now, the patient expects the same. As they come inside, they want the treatment. They are not ready for a consultation and for another appointment. They just want the treatment to be done because I've been doing that way.
So you need to change certain things. That is the only thing I said. Change is inevitable. Unless you change certain, nothing changes if nothing changes. That has been one of my favorite quotes as well. So if you change nothing, nothing will change in your results as well. If you don't change in your efforts as well. Treating at midnight once in a while, it's fine. Otherwise, what cost does it come at? Your sleep, your family lifetime. What answer do you have to that? Nothing. So only reason is that we are actually obliging our patients and we are letting them exploit us. Is that fine? Only at the
No.
cost of money?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely not.
This
Till you are-
KOS is
till you are
working
young,
really good, sir.
Till you are young, these things might go handy. But once you get into the middle age and maybe beyond that, you will find age catching up and you will actually hate to do certain things. And sometimes when you are in a bad mood, you will even hate to go to at a normal time to your clinic as well. There might be some days you will be so overworked up. So always space out your time, give time to yourself, because unless you enjoy your work, you'll not be giving full productivity, full output to your patients.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. This has increased a great sense of time in me. I started analyzing how long I take. I'm knowing myself better, sir. I didn't know like this procedure took so much of time for me. I had to spend so much on this procedure. I've been asking patients to come. You come around 6:30 like that. But that scheduling is really helping me to learn about myself better than about the patients. This is
The first
I'm
step is
really
always know yourself,
yes,
know
sir.
your patient, and then the rest of the things follow in practice management.
Maybe down the lane it should all set right and it should be comfortable.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the morning session, sir. Thank you, sir.
So any more queries or we call it a day? Okay, then I take your leave. Please put in your feedback in the WhatsApp group to any of the gains if you have, or any of the negatives if you feel. So all on my chin, I'll be ready to take it. So see you tomorrow evening for the finance free group session. So I hope you will enjoy the topic. I'll be putting it up the link in the free groups in a short while from now. So you'll get a new video on YouTube as well. So I'll share the link for that as well. So stay tuned and have a nice day. Have a festive filled occasions in every part of India as they are today. So enjoy your festival and take care.